Hi, I am Patty Jones. I am an ambassador with Park Bench, and I am an ambassador because I want to get to know as many people as I can in Blaine and know about their businesses as a small business owner. And today I am here with Dylan Copenhaver with Prodigy Painting. He is the owner and he runs it. Plus, he's got all kinds of other hats he wears that hopefully we'll get to hear about. Hi, Dylan.
Hi,
Thank you so much for joining us.
no problem. Absolutely. Appreciate the opportunity.
Great. So tell me, how did you get started in the painting business itself?
I started just as a hourly job. Actually, my brother was painting and drywall, and I needed a job, and so he said come over, and I was just kind of like the grunt and the laborer, and kind of just moved my way up in the field, and just got better and better and excelled at it, and you know, so that's how
Yeah.
it started. Yep, started as an
And
hourly guy.
yeah.
Yep,
So what year did you start Prodigy?
it was 2015.
2015?
Yep.
And what you just decided, okay, I'm doing this, I'm going to do my own business, or were you working for somebody else?
Yep, I was working for somebody else at the time, and I kind of just, I'd always wanted to be a business owner. So from about 18 years old, I always wanted to own my own business. I just didn't know what at the time. I was actually like, doing all these odd end jobs and cooking at one point. I'm like, I want to open a restaurant and all this stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I needed a job. I fell into just being kind of a grunt, and I just stuck with it for some years, and um, that was it. I was like, well,
Yeah.
I think I could wing it on this. I think I could do this. I think I know enough. I was a little naive. I didn't, there was a lot I had to learn. So, but, yeah, it was good. It's been good. It's been a fun learning curve. So
Yeah, operating your own small business is, there's a lot to it.
yes,
How'd you come up with the name?
that's a funny story too. So I don't know, you might not know the band, but there's a band from like when I was a kid in the 90s. It was the Prodigy was the name of the band. They're kind of more of it's kind of electronic music, sort of kind of mixed rock sort of stuff. And I actually did martial arts. And so we were allowed to have, like, when we did our competitions as a teenager, we could have an entrance song, they kind of hyped it up for us, and
Mm-hmm.
so I had one of their songs as an entrance song, and I was thinking, what am I going to name it? What am I going to name it? And I thought of that, and I was like, Prodigy Painting. That kind of got a nice ring to it. So that
Yeah,
was that. That was
yeah,
that.
it does. Oh, that's awesome. That's
Mm-hmm.
great. So you started out, and was it just you, or did you have anybody working with you when you started Prodigy?
Just me. Yep. I
Just
started out
you.
just me. Yep. It was
Okay.
just me. I was solo working, and I just started trying to get jobs. I had some contacts and stuff, and got in touch with some other friends that worked for, different contractors, and it's some of the other learning curve stuff is I ran into, early on I ran into a lot more dry spells of work because I didn't know much about marketing, and how do you generate more clients, because you
Mhm.
only have so many friends, and they only have so many friends, and that eventually
Mhm.
dries up.
Yes.
So again, in retrospect, it was a fun learning curve, and I've learned ways to keep myself busy, and enough busy where now I just have crews, I have guys that work for me.
Hmm.
So yeah,
How many crews do you run?
a couple right now.
A
So
couple right now?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And what areas do you work in? Will you go outside of the metro or
So I have, over the years, I've done like out of state work, stuff like that. Currently, I won't do out of state work, but I will go pretty far. I mean, we have had a job going in St. Peter recently, which is, about an hour and 45 minutes from Blaine or so, roughly.
Mhm.
So, we try to stay, that's pretty far, but try to stay in the metro area. So Southern
Mhm.
Metro, Edina, we'll do stuff there. Up to the northern, Princeton, St. Francis, kind of, Blaine, Minneapolis, West Delano,
Mhm.
east out to, Woodbury, stuff like that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. And so how does it work? So say I call you and I say, "Hey, I need some work done at my house." Do you or somebody come to my house and do an estimate?
It's always me.
How's that process?
It's always me. So I'm kind of I operate
Nice.
basically as the face of the company.
Mhm.
So I have also, so with my website, clients can just actually get a hold of me, request a quote or contact right to theirs. There's a click tab,
Mhm.
it'll come through. I have, through my SEO, I have like a client card. So it keeps everything with the client invoices, everything all together.
Mhm.
You could just email, off the website and I'll go direct to my email or call me. And that's my direct line. And I just set up time. If it's a smaller job and it's something that I think I can just maybe just have pictures, like a small deck or something like that, sometimes I won't come out. I'll just say, just send me some pictures and I can just give you an estimate right there. If it's,
Mhm.
a full basement or interior, I do like to schedule something where I can come look at it, meet the client, just go over all the details that they're looking to have, colors, are they, whatever. There's just so many things, the variables when you get into that. What is the condition of the substrates that I'm painting, all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
yep,
So your guys will go in though, they'll do all the prepping of the walls and get
yep,
everything taped off and they do all
yep,
that. That's
yep.
great. Do they help move furniture at all, or is that you want the owner to have everything moved?
We will. That's it's
Mhm.
we kind of we decide on how much furniture. Obviously, if it's large stuff and we understand that homeowners can't move it by themselves, they're elderly or stuff like that.
Mhm.
Most clients are pretty good about understanding that they're well-bodied, able people. They can move their stuff to the center of the room. So try to go that route. But obviously, if you're elderly or something like that, we're more than happy to help out with moving some stuff. So
That's great. So are did you grow up in Blaine
I did
or
live in Blaine. I've actually lived all over. So I'm originally from California, but I've lived
okay.
majority of my life in Minnesota.
Okay.
So I've lived in Blaine, Anoka, Champlin, St. Francis, Princeton, Coon Rapids, Northeast Minneapolis. Kind of lived all over. I've lived in Minnesota for about 25 years now. So
Mhm. Mhm.
um, yeah. So I did live in Blaine, and my mom, when I was a teenager, my mom was living in Blaine when I was living with her. So my mom lives in Blaine now currently.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Cool. So what's your favorite paint product to use? Paint.
I go between, so it's different products from different suppliers that I like, So I
Mm-hmm.
like Hirschfield's and I like Sherwin-Williams and I like different products from each. Um, I So it depends. If I'm doing cabinets, I'll get a lot of stuff from Hirschfield's. If I'm just doing wall stuff or exterior paint, a lot of times I'm using Sherwin-Williams. So and Hirschfield's is actually a Minnesota company, so they're
Mm-hmm.
actually originated in Minnesota. Their original factory is in Minneapolis, off of 94 there, just by
Mm-hmm.
downtown. So I do try to support them, as
Yeah.
much as I can. Although I do Sherwin's a little more convenient at times, so I kind of
Mm-hmm.
bounce back and forth. But Blaine
Mm-hmm.
does have a Hirschfield's right in town, so I try to use them
Oh, that's
as
cool.
often as possible. They're off Radisson over there, so
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. It's important to support small business. You know,
yeah,
we're all
yeah.
in this together and we got to come together and help each other
Yep,
be successful. Yeah.
absolutely.
Do you have a favorite thing about living in Minnesota in this area? Is there anything that you just love about Minnesota?
I mean, I like that it's like where we are. It's not too big, Like our
Mhm.
metro is kind of small, but it's still like we got like a downtown, like, but it's not like too big. So I like
Mhm.
that. Um, I like up north is probably one of my favorite places. The North Shore, Lake Superior. I
Mhm.
just went there last weekend. Me and my mom went riding our motorcycles and went up and did the Gunflint Trail and stuff. So I really love it up there. But I also like that, like just outside of Blaine, you can have that country feel. You can be on a country
Mhm.
road within 10, 15 minutes, and there's farms and there's pole buildings and fields and you know nice woods and stuff. It's not. it's not overly developed, I guess, where it takes you
Yeah.
hours to get to something. You have to drive 2 hours to get to that kind of scenery,
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yep.
It's just right there.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So, what is like from the time somebody requests a paint job to getting to the paint job? What is the time usually?
um, usually within a couple weeks, we're kind of booked about a couple weeks out. Typically, it takes a little bit of time. Obviously, when they first contact me, we got to get it scheduled with them for me to come in, see what we're looking at. Then usually within 48 hours, I have them an estimate depending on the size of the project. So within 48 hours, I'll have an estimate. And then whenever the client accepts that, then we just do a formal contract. I can send that. They can, sign over the internet and just, that's nice. I don't have to actually do a meet. And now with these ways of Venmo and all these other things, I can collect down payments just like that. We don't have to meet again. So it's great that way. And then we get a scheduled date once we get a down payment and a contract, then it's a scheduled date, and it's usually within a week or two from that time. So usually within 2 weeks we can book you on. So
Yeah, cool.
sometimes
Cool.
sooner, sometimes
Yeah.
sooner,
Yes, it depends on what season it is. I mean, I'm sure.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
It's a busier season right now. I did just, if there's, I will do my best to make, wiggle things around. Also, like I just had a client yesterday. They're trying to put the house on the market in 2 weeks. So it's like, okay, let me just try to get at least one guy over there and going to try to get him in there on Monday. So, within a week we're there.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. As a real estate agent myself, I like to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm always looking for painters that can be on the job quick because sometimes things do come up and they need to turn quick.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we understand that, so for certain scenarios, certain situations, certain clients, we can try to make exceptions as much as we can, so.
Yeah, that's great. So what do you see happening with Prodigy in the future? Do you see yourself growing and getting bigger?
I do. Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to get too big either though. I do like having the crews that I use. I like to have work with those same guys. I do see us getting bigger, but I don't have like huge aspirations of being this, $10 million a year company or anything like that. But, so I just liked my biggest passion is helping people. I like to make people's like visions of their homes or businesses come to life. I love helping people have a job, like have work. That's another one of my big passions about being a business owner. So that's what's important to me. And if that grows a little bit more, I'm okay with that, so.
Yeah. All right. This is kind of goofy, but what's your favorite color?
Red.
Red? Okay.
Yep. Red is not to paint.
Not to paint.
Not to paint.
Yeah.
Not my favorite color to paint. It is my favorite color though.
Yeah. Why is it not your favorite color? So tell me what's hard about painting red?
It usually takes more than one coat. Well, painting over it's even worse.
Yeah.
If it's red already, it's extra coats usually,
Yeah.
It can be tricky.
Yeah.
So.
All right. And I'm going to ask you one last thing. So if a young person, just getting ready to graduate high school came to you and said, hey, would you do this again? Or do you have advice for a young person that maybe doesn't want to go to college or isn't sure?
Absolutely. I would say, so it takes some people are not cut out to be business owners. I will say that. So, but the people that are, they usually know that's what they want to do. They usually know they want to own their own business and they have that there's a different something inside of them that clicks in them. And so absolutely, I would say pursue that because there's nothing like doing something that you don't really like doing for a long period of time.
Right.
So if you got to love what you do and whatever you do, start a business, make sure that you like that and you actually like industry or that field that you're trying to start a business in. And you got to you're going to sacrifice some things, but in the end, the rewards are definitely worth every minute of it. So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. All right. Well, Dylan, thank you so much for taking time today to talk with me. I'm
yeah,
excited to hopefully use you guys in the future on one of my projects.
awesome.
Um, but it's great. Thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate you meeting with me. And
Thanks, Patty.
thanks. Thanks.
Appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
All righty. Bye bye.
Bye.